Gamers, time has come. Follow the disciple. Everyone's been asking me what I'm bringing into the raid, what loadouts, what stats, what mods, what artifact mods. Everything is about to be included in this video, so get your notes out. First, I want to show you what's being disabled. The Arbalest SMG, Imperial Needle Bow, the Grand Overture Exotic Machine Gun, and Wardcliff. The reason why, those weapons weren't working properly, so they disabled them. Worm Gods for the Titan, Paramin Greaves for the Titan, Suppressing Glaive, artifact mod because it's busted. And there's a chance that maybe Synthoceps might get disabled too because those are busted too. Just wanted to show you that. Here's the Titan. So obviously everyone's going to tell you to run Funnel Web. Just get one with Frenzy or Adrenaline Junkie. It's very busted. I'm taking this in right away. Depending on how it works with the volatile rounds against enemies, it might be something you juice for the whole raid. My stats, let me explain why. 5 resilience for endgame. I'm going to be at 1530. I'm going to be underleveled. I want tons of recovery. I want nades. I don't really care about intellect. I'm going to explain my build in a second. I'm going to be showing you some of these artifact mods, what I'm going to be using. I don't think there's going to be a lot of champs. There might not be champs at all, but we're ready to go. We have all 5 ready to go if we need to put them on our gauntlets. Rocket Scav is going to be very important. Melee Wellmaker is going to be definitely an important mod since you're using Wellmaker mods. Font of Might, another juicer. Thermo Shock is definitely something you need on your armor. If you run Artifice Armor, you can actually run this mod with Void Damage Resist and Concussive. Glaive Scavenger, if you're going to use a Glaive build, you definitely should run that. I don't think you need Glaive Dexterity, but if you want to put it on, you can. Glaive builds are going to be definitely dangerous. I would suggest using them on your Hunter. Unstoppable Glaive, just in case. Loosen Finisher, this is Juice Magoose. I repeat, this stacks with Aeons. If you have this mod on and you use Aeons, it could be really juiced. So if you see a Hive Guardian champ, a Hive Guardian or a champion, someone can switch from what they're using, put on Aeons real quick, hit a finisher, drop the bricks. I can 100% tell you that this is what me and my team are doing. Our Hunter has the build to do it. He literally said he's going to switch to Aeons if he sees an opportunity to hit a finisher. Stack heavy on the ground. Overload nades just in case. Suppressive Mastery, Devouring Depths, and all this stuff is up to you if you really want to. Suppressive Darkness is kind of up to you if you really want to use this. Instead of using it in the Weakening, I'm actually going to be running this on my Titan. I'll explain why. Energy Vampirism is 100% a good mod if you want to target your least charged ability. When you suppress a target, I would definitely suggest putting it on. If you're in the raid and you don't have this mod on, you're missing out, okay? I don't know what else to tell you. But again, you have to test this stuff. If you don't agree with some of these mods, don't use them. But I just wanted to go over and just give you a quick insight. On my Sentinel Titan build, again, this is up to you. Vortex nades are absolutely busted. You should run these on your Warlocks and your Hunters. But I'm going to run suppressor nades because I want to be able to suppress targets and help my team out as a team player. Add clear using suppressive nades. I like them because they pair well with the controlled demolition. Okay? Controlled demolition is huge. The reason why, I'll explain what it's going to do here. Bastion. I know some people say you should use offensive bulwark. It helps in your bubble. I'm not running bubble. I feel like Titan shouldn't be on bubble. There's only a time that a Titan should run bubble in the raid, and that's if you need to stand in the bubble and prepare for DPS. Other than that, you're going to be standing in a well. We're running 3 wells, 2 Titans that are going to be on Sentinel. Maybe 1 bubble, maybe 1 Sentinel. I'm going to be on Sentinel. And we are running a Tether Hunter. The Warlock is probably going to be switching between Stasis and Void because Void 3.0 is just busted. But you definitely want those wells. But I'm going to be using Bastion with Controlled Demolition just because I grant overshields nonstop. Again, you'll see the build come together. I just wanted to explain why I'm using it. We're gonna go over my fragments now. Echo of Domineering. The reason why I like this, when I suppress a target, I gain increased mobility, meaning once I hit a suppressor nade, I can go pick up my wells. I'm gonna be making wells with the Wellmaker mods. It also reloads my weapon. I can shoot 4 rockets in a row with Gallahorn. Rocket, throw nade, rocket. As the nade explodes, 2 more rockets. It's insane. I might put on leeching, so when I throw my Captain America shield, I start my health regen and it heals my teammates. Exchange is huge. Melee, final blows, grant me grenade energy. I want to make sure my grenades are up all the time. Echo of Explosion, this stacks with Controlled Demolition. So not only does my class have built-in explosions from my abilities, but now my Void ability final blows is going to target them to explode. It's insane. You can use whatever you'd like, but this is what I've been using on my Titan nonstop. So if you look and see what my build is now, these stats are starting to make sense. paired with my Heart of Immol's Light abilities non-stop, recharging non-stop. I have enough resilience, I have enough recov, I have discipline, a little bit of intellect. I'll be good to go. We're going to focus on some weapons right now. What weapons am I taking in? There's a lot to go over. There's so many different diversive builds. I can't even like mention them all. Some of these guns I'm going to show you don't have the rolls yet. I'm farming them right now, but I will tell you what I want. Blinding nades, this is what I'm going in with. This loadout is what I'm starting the raid with 100% when I launch in. Blinding nade, slide shot frenzy. This is stupid. Slide shoot, slide shoot, slide shoot, slide shoot, slide. Blind everything, suppress everything. Make sure your teammates do not get hit by anything. Busted. Unfortunately, you can't get this weapon no more. It's not even in the helm anymore, so that sucks. Huge potential with this weapon right now. I'm actually trying to farm it. Thoughtless sniper rifle. If you get 3 of these, you can unlock the pattern for it. Sorry, forgot the name. And you can actually craft this with enhanced overflow with firing line. 18 rounds without reloading. Could be juiced. Favorite scout rifle in the game, not Night Watch. If I have to do any long range fighting, Night Watch is my way to go. Explosive payload, it's nice. Fatebringer, explosive frenzy, you guys know this, you know the deal. If anyone's gonna run stasis like a hunter, a titan, or a warlock, do not sleep on this gun. This ad clear is insane. I would suggest running it on a warlock just because you can run the double Jerry gauntlets that are new, or you can run like I Have Another World. It's gonna be amazing. Remember, the warlock has a built-in tracking effect with stasis. So does this weapon. It stacks. It's insane. I haven't even got the catalyst for this yet. I do have the oranges for it. I have the inventory for it, but I'm focusing on other raid weapons right now. But I can make this gun's nuts. It's going to pair well with your warlocks using necrotic grips. Also, it could work good with hunters and titans. Arbalest, I put this on the list just because I think that Arbalest could help, just because if there's something at long range and your funnel web or whatever energy you're using could not help you with shields. We always know that when majors come out, abominations come, it could be whatever. We don't know if it's going to be Scorn. We don't know if it's going to be Hive. Arbalest is always a backup. This is kind of like not a must-have, but it's in the rotation. Secession. This sniper could out DPS Secession depending on what you're using and what mods. But if you have a Secession, a sniper is always a good. It's always a good role to put on. I don't even have to talk about this gun. You guys already know the deal. Witherhoard. Pairing Witherhoard with your funnel web build is probably going to be insane. And you're going to use that Izanagi for DPS using rockets with the Izanagi. Again, there's more weapons that I can go over and sit here and tell you all these new weapons to get. These are just basic primaries that I'm going to be using. Let's go to energies. Funnel web. I have one with Frenzy. If you have Frenzy or Adrenaline Junkie, you're fine. Don't go nonstop with your god rolls. Use this. I'm going to be pairing this funnel web before I even start talking about more weapons. I'm going to be pairing this funnel web with my mods. I have on Elemental Ordnance. Every time I throw a nade, I make a well mod. Or a well maker. When I go pick that up, I get the volatile rounds. What else mods am I using? Well, I'm using rocket ammo finder because I have a rocket on. I'm going to be using a submachine gun loader to pair with my submachine gun to reload a little quicker. I don't need unstoppable hand cannon on. I just have that for the activity I was running. Well of tenacity. What does that mod do? Well, it goes on void and it gives me a 50% damage reduction when I pick up the well orb on the ground. I have to actually inspect my Heart of Immol's Light to show you this mod. This is a Reaping Well Maker mod. Every time I use my tall wall, when I use my tall wall, the next kill I get will drop an elemental well. That's huge. I'm going to be going in with thermoclastic plating and concussive dampener, but I do have a void chest piece on, so I could switch to void damage resist. This is that huge one that I was talking about. Volatile flow. Making volatile rounds. This is absolutely busted. I'm sure you've seen plenty of videos on it, so you should definitely use it. Recuperation. Every time I pick up an orb, replenishes my health. I'm using a rocket, so I want rocket scavenger. I would put on a grenade scavenger for my grenade launcher, but I don't have enough juice. This is where people are probably going to disagree with this, saying I should put on weakening. But the reason why I don't want to put on weakening is because I want to run suppressive darkness so I can run 3 fragments. I could put on energy vampirism with anything else, but I chose this. I'm using Font of Might to definitely charge my damage on my weapon as well. When you pick up an elemental well that matches your subclass and matches the gun you're using, it gives you a buff to your damage. This does stack, by the way. You can run 4 of these and just juice your damage, by the way. Since I'm using my class ability a lot, I'm using utility kickstart because the way that this build all forms together, with Heart of Immol's Light, I'm going to use my shield. I'm going to throw my nade, and then I'm going to throw my Captain America shield. By the time that happens, all my abilities are going to be recharged because I have 10 discipline and I'm running the fragment, melee final blows grant grenade energy. So the thing is, you want to spam, spam, spam. Utility kickstart, that's all going to help me. Now I'm going to explain why I'm running this fragment. When I suppress a target, I gain great increased mobility and everything's reloaded. So when I suppress the enemies with my nade and I make the orb on the ground using this elemental ordnance, when that elemental well orb is on the ground, my gun is reloaded, everything's suppressed, and I can run up, grab the mod. Now I'm going to get my volatile flow. My gun's going to do more damage. Tenacity. It's going to give me defense, 50% damage resist, nonstop. You see how this is all coming together. What else could I switch to? Well, we're going to get to armor in a second. We're going to keep going over energy weapons. I don't have them all on me, so I'm going to try and go through these pretty quick. Funnel web, Sweet Sorrow. Since Arbalest SMG got disabled, if we need a primary, Sweet Sorrow auto rifle might be the play. I just started playing with it. I don't know what role I want. Obviously, you want something with triple tap and a damage perk. I haven't looked up on light.gg what it can roll with, but triple tap with a damage perk, I'm cool with it. This auto rifle is actually pretty decent. Dead Messenger is going to be busted. You can make Warmind cells with this gun. Why? Because it does arc, solar, and void damage. Solar damage makes Warmind cells. Also, volatile flow. Those volatile rounds work with this gun. It's insane. We got the juicer right here. Blinding or spike with auto-loading holster and Vorpal. I'm going to use this just in case. You just never know if you need that extra DPS. If I'm triple swapping, I don't think we're going to be triple swapping with rockets and Izanagi, but you just never know. Celestial works with volatile rounds. It reloads itself. Multi-kills reload this weapon, meaning you never have to stop shooting it. It's just in there. Salvo, can't go wrong with this. This gun was really good for Vogue. We can't sleep on it. Glaive, 100%. What if there's a lot of solar shields and I want to take off funnel web? I'm going to use Death Adder. Okay. Has auto loading and disruption break. Disruption break is going to buff my kinetics. So if I put on a sniper like so, it's going to buff that damage. Huge. New waveframe grenade launcher. Maybe you like this grenade launcher, but you don't want to rock an exotic. There you go. This will make Warmind cells. Get yourself a good roll on it. Divinity. If you're going to use Divinity in the raid, please don't throw any nades or any weakening effects. Please, 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 please don't. It cancels it. Just letting you know now. If you're running div, don't throw nades at the boss. Don't throw any weakening effect, no suppressive darkness. Looking in the vault right now at any energies that I would recommend as well. Trinity Ghoul. I'm trying to think of stuff that's arc and solar, just because you got your void under control. Trinity Ghoul. Vex. Risk Runner. I know Risk Runner, you guys might think that's a oof, but you never know. Ariana's. We're going to throw Tikus and Lemon Arc in there too, even though I'm not a fan of those. I'm just going to throw them in there for a suggestion. Other than that, that's kind of where I'm at with the energies. Hopefully this is helping. Before we forget, when we get to heavies, obviously we're bringing Galahorn, Two-Tailed Fox, and Whisper of the Worm is not in my inventory right now, but it will be in my vault ready to roll. Two-Tailed Fox and Sleeper and Whisper and all these weapons that you never would have thought that Whisper of the Worm or Two-Tailed Fox could be doing some damage, but trust me, damage over time. If it's a long DPS phase, Whisper does a lot of damage. Two-Tailed Fox is definitely good as well because it suppresses targets with the rockets. Just letting you guys know. Thanks to Twitch chat for helping us out with that. We got Tractor Cannon in the vault ready. We got Lament, even though they nerfed the damage. 1,000 Voices. We have Royal Entry, which is a Void Vanguard rocket launcher. I could still throw on my 7th Seraph machine gun if I really wanted to make Warmind cells. I have a Hothead in the vault. I have a Thunderlord in the vault ready to go. And a few other weapons, but here's some important ones. The new machine gun that's Stasis. If you need ad clear, subsistence firing line, or maybe a headstone to make things turn into ice for ad clear could be really huge. I think this is going to be a very mechanical raid. I think there's going to be a lot of mechanics, so it's going to be a lot of heavy ad clear. That's just up to me. This is what everyone's using with Izanagi hot swaps. I actually need to get a better roll from this. You want to use the auto loading with lasting impression. People are doing the enhanced perks on them. You can choose whatever you want. I'm just letting you know. Throw the rocket on. This is all preference. I'm just mentioning guns. Use whatever roll you want. Razor's Edge. This works with volatile rounds. It has chain reaction. I got this from being a dirty cheater and I saved Iron Banner bounties and this dropped. The only reason I'm using this because it has chain reaction. This shit's busted. So if I rock something like this with Wither Horde, I'm literally a demon. I'm gonna run around, popping over shields for myself, ad clearing. This could be juice. We just don't know. But I'm bringing it. I'm bringing a half-true sword for Eager's Edge to do jump puzzles. Sleeper Stimulant. I mean, let's be honest here. I used this in the legendary campaign. Its crit damage is off the charts. It's huge. I have another rocket launcher that I personally like. I can use this with hot swapping as well. Lasting impression, auto loading, or cluster for ad clear, depending on how much rockets do. We'll see how they perform. Parasite. What are you going to be doing when you have a glaive equipped and a funnel web equipped? You're going to be killing a lot of ads. Maybe you need Maybe it's a Scorn raid and an Abomination comes out and you're like, oh, Mo, I'm about to die. Well, put the AC 130 on, one shot worm, dub. We're going to suggest the Threaded Needle as well because it is a legendary, it is a linear fusion, and they still do good damage. You can also put your reeds on if you have that as well. Totally up to you. Anarchy, I mean, let's be honest here, just because it's not a boss does not mean you can still trap doors. It's all about trapping doors, trapping ads, counting ads. When I raid on day one, I count how many ads come out, when's the major coming out. You can use this paired very well with your nades. But other than that, I mean, I've went over everything. Wardcliff got disabled, but I know this is kind of long, but I wanted to go over everything on why I'm using what. I'm going to be switching stuff out of the vault, changing different stuff, trying different heavies, swapping out DPS. We just never know. Okay, now we're gonna move on to the armor. I'm actually gonna take the cam down from my stream so I don't block anything. So I'll be right back. Like I said, I'm running this build for a reason, so I can charge my abilities up as fast as I can and spam everything. Other helmets I would recommend. I wouldn't sleep on this new Titan Exotic. Sunspots heal you. Obviously, I have a really bad roll because this is the one from the campaign. But if you run hammers, you could create sunspots when you're critically wounded, and you could just turn into a monster. I'm just gonna mention it. Helmet same 14. If you plan on running bubble, if you want to step out of that bubble with an overshield, you should put on your sync. I'm not going to run it. Syntheseps could be disabled, so I have them on my inventory just in case. If they are busted, you could use them. Furiosas, if you plan on running Banner Shield and you feel like you don't want to run the Heart of Inmost Light build, that's fine. Put on Furiosas. Run whatever you want. There's options. If you want to change supers, protect your team. You need to understand that Banner Shield does do 40% damage increase when your teammates are standing behind you, but 5 people damaging with a 40% buff is less damage than 6 people with 25% standing in a well. Aeons, I mean, it's a dub. Titan shouldn't be running them, but if your Titan has on the Loosen Finisher mod, you can always swap to it. Chest piece, I'm not taking this thing off until the build fails in the raid. I'm just letting you guys know that. If I need to put on Thunder Crash for damage, obviously we're using the Fallen Star, and if I want to do double dose on the nades, I can run Armentarium. We're gonna go to boots. Obviously I'm gonna put the Lion Rampants on for the jump puzzles. Why? Titans can show you the way. They can put on a sword and they can jump the jump puzzle and kind of tell the teammates where to go. That way you don't have to pull your teammates and people can get familiarized with the jump puzzle. But on the first run, it's pretty much first to the next encounter, quick wipe, called a dub. Dune Marchers. People sleep on Dune Marchers in PvE. This could absolutely destroy ad clear. I use Dune Marchers in PvE a lot. I'm just saying, if I'm in a scenario where I'm in an encounter and I'm just getting overran, I could always put on Dune Marchers. This is my Titan recommendation for the new raid. I feel like I've went over everything I possibly could by weapons, builds. Now I'm going to give you some options. What if you don't have these mods and you're like, man, I can't go to Ada. I can't get the stuff. You're going to put on Protective Light. You're going to use Protective Light like you used to. If you don't have Protective Light, you probably don't watch me because I made so many videos on why you should use it. Protective Light, put it on. What are you going to pair it with? Well, you got different mods up here now on your helmets that you can put on to make orbs. Check and see what you have on your solar, your arc, or your void. Me personally, if there's shields in the raid, which is probably going to be, I always recommend people to run shield break charge. Every time you break a shield, you're automatically charged with light. You don't have to go pick up any orb. As soon as you break that shield, you're charged with light. That way, if you get hit and your shields get broken, Protective Light's going to kick in. It's a 10% resist, but it's 10% you didn't have. You can go overboard. You can run charged up, supercharged, you know, firepower, high energy fire. You can run energy converter, juice up your super. There's so many. We don't need to go over all the charge with light mods, but I'm just letting you know, if you don't have these, if you don't have all the well mods because you didn't play, just put on Protective Light with shield break charge or taking charge. Just make sure you got a way on your helmet to make orbs with multi kills with matching that element. Just look through your helmet mods, see what you can put on, see what you got. I understand it's a struggle to figure out what mods you have. Totally understandable, but just, you know, just double check. Resist mods are huge. As you see here, I have a backup chest piece, okay? Let's just say I was using a linear fusion rifle like so. I'm gonna rally with double linear fusion rifle reserves. Why? I wanna go into damage. If you die in an encounter, switch this chest piece again before you get rezzed. I'm gonna have resist mods on, always. Okay, concussive dampener and the new thermoshock from the artifact. If you don't have concussive or you don't have void damage resist, I know it's tough. I made an alt account and I didn't have most mods either, but pay attention to your resist, I'm telling you. Other than that, I mean, if you're not running the melee, void, wells, mods, protective light, you just got to use what you got to use. But Warmind cells, I'm not really going to go over those much. Warmind cells, I would definitely check a lot on solar. Solar has a lot of Warmind cells that are really good. I mean, I'm just going to show you a couple examples right now. You have Global Reach, you have Burning Cells, Wrath of Rasputin. Fire Team Medic is really huge. If you're going to make Warmind cells, you can create a burst of healing. You got Rage of the Warmind paired with Wrath of Rasputin is just absolutely nuts. So if you're using solar, you could slap these on. They don't do much, but Cellular Suppression is also a good one on Void. Damage resist ones. I mean, you can use Power Rasputin. You can throw your Warmind cells at bosses and get more damage. There's so many options that you can do, but I just wanted to give you plain and simple builds. Use what you got. If you're not using this setup, if you don't have a funnel web, it sucks. They patched it. You can't go get one. I totally understand. It's a world drop. Try and turn in some umbrals. Try and turn in some primes. Figure it out. I feel like I've went over everything on the Titan. I'm going to be switching to my Warlock and my Hunter and just show you the actual armor builds on what I'm going to run. I don't need to go over any weapons or anything. I can just go over subclasses and I can go over armor. Moving on to the Warlock. I didn't feel like specking my Warlock, so my raid teammate, Mr. Rain, had his ready to go. I'm suggesting that if you're not running well, I'll have him switch to a well build in a second. You're going to run this Voidwalker. Voidwalker 3.0 paired with this Gsxrclyde Sin is absolutely nuts. Why is this helmet so good? It's going to chain your abilities nonstop. Void damage kills, increased ability, energy, recharge rate. You're also going to be running the Verities helmet as well. There's also Eye of Another Worlds for your stasis build. And I think that's it for the helmets. But again, it's going to be the same setup, funnel web, all the elemental well mods, pretty much just tuning yourself into a machine, nonstop spamming abilities. I'm going to show you what I've been running on my class. So Child of an Old Gods could come off if you run Controverse holds. You should be running Vortex nades because they're busted. If you do the Controverse nade spam build, you should probably take Child of the Old Gods off because Feed the Void, you got your Devour, and you're going to get your Chaos Accelerant for spamming nades. Some of the fragments I've been running is Expulsion. You're going to cause them to explode. Your melee final blows grant grenade energy. Your Void grenades weaken targets. And Void buffs such as Devour have increased duration. You could switch it up, but that's what I've been running. We're gonna go back to his character so I can get back on his character. Again, he's focusing on that high resilience, high recov, high discipline, and decent intellect. Again, your teammates are gonna be pairing up pretty well together. A Warlock can run this build. Also, you can put on the new SMG with Necrotic Grips. If you're not running the Gsxrclyde and you're not running Controverse, he's gonna put this on right now. The new SMG paired with Necrotic is absolutely busted. It does chain. We just don't know how well it's going to work. Okay. Your energy, you can switch it to whatever you want, what I recommended before. Okay. Can you show us a Well of Radiance build, Mr. Rain? Well of Radiance. Well of Radiance build. Perfect. Don't look at the stats right now because he just switched over. You should definitely be on Phoenix or a Luna Well. You're going to be on your middle tree. Doesn't matter what nades. I would suggest Solar. But again, we got 3 Warlocks. 2 Titans and 1 Hunter. There's going to be 2 Warlocks on Wells. Let's just keep it, keep it real. Wells are good for day ones. The 3rd Warlock can run Void or Stasis. The Hunter is probably going to stay on Tether, but also could run Stasis than the 2 Void Titans. Other than that, I mean, I feel like this is a good starter build. I've recommended helmets, I've recommended gauntlets, chest pieces, boots. You can do the Lunas, or you can do Transversives, or you can do the new Devour boots if you would like, that were unlocked this season. But again, it's going to take some guts for a Warlock in a day 1 raid to put on an Empowering Rift, unless they're used to it. Don't sleep on that either. If you're a Well Warlock, stay on Well. Don't run Void because you're used to staying alive as a Well Warlock. You know what I'm saying? I'm used to running Banner Shield. I know how to stay alive with my Banner Shield. I know how to make orbs. Other than that, I don't think I really left out anything for this Warlock, so we're going to move on to the Hunter. Now we get to the Hunter, where everyone's probably gonna give me some harsh comments on this one. This build for this subclass is for pure DPS and also survivability with the Glaive build. I was running this with the Glaive build, so I was running Stylus Executioner, Vanishing Step, Vortex, of course, Undermining for the weakening nades, melee final blows, start health regen. I was using the Glaive with that. Melee final blows grant grenade energy, so you get good grenades and the grenade effects last longer. Up to you, you can use whatever you want. There's tons of things you could do with this. I think hunters step up their game and say, hey, I'm not just here for debuffs, I'm here to damage. So run these. Run Orpheus Rig, you get 3 shots, huge amounts of damage. Don't run Gravitron, don't go hiding. No, say I'm here to damage. I think you run a full DPS build. In my opinion, it's time for the hunters to step up and actually have fun. You're not just a debuff person. Go for the damage. Run this build. Have fun. That's what I'm going to run when I do this raid on my hunter. You got to remember, though, that there's a mod right here. There's a mod right here. I'm going to unlock it. You can damage yourself and then cast your super while you're injured, and the tether does more damage. Don't sleep on this build. Please don't. It's amazing. I know people are going to say run Gravitron. If you're going to... Hunter Stasis is cracked as well. I'm not going to show you guys a Stasis build, but for Stasis, you can run Bacchus, you can run Stompies. You can use whatever you want. I'm not going to go over a full Stasis build because that takes time. But Stasis ad clear for a Hunter, especially paired with the Gsxrclyde, is absolutely insane. Obviously, we're not going to be using this because it's disabled, so don't worry about the weapons. I think you just run a good recov, keep your mobility up, try and stay above a 3 resilience, and focus on your discipline. You don't really need to focus on intellect. I'm going to show you a few exotics. Obviously, if you were to switch off, remember, Aeons, it stacks with Lucent Finisher. I think most of the hunters are going to be running Lucent Finisher, so if you can hit some finishers in the raid, make sure you switch real quick. Some exotics. Most hunters run 6 Coyote or Omni with their Void builds, so I'm going to put that in the recommendations. Orpheus Rigs, put on Stompies for jump puzzles. It's basic. It's all the same. I'm running all the mods. I'm running all the mods that I showed you on my Titan. I'm running the exact mods on my Warlock, and I'm running the exact mods on my Hunter. If all else fails and the Void Funnel Web build doesn't work, I showed you weapons on my Titan, which I'm going to be using. But I'm telling you, do not sleep. Hunters are actually going to perform. They're actually going to do really good DPS. You at least need 1 hunter in your raid group. I think multiple hunters could be dangerous too. I think people that are running more than 1 hunter could have an advantage. It's either going to be the hunter advantage or the Titan advantage, because people are going to, most teams are having 3 warlocks or 4. So 2 hunters in a raid group could benefit you, or the 2 Titans could help you. But the hunter's pretty basic. Go for the quiver shot, hit that Orpheus Rig, 3 tethers. It does an insane amount of damage, so pair that with your weapons, your Gallahorn shots. Remember, tether buffs all those Wolfpack rounds. When you tether a boss and you immediately start firing rockets, the Wolfpack rounds do so much damage and you'll enjoy it. You just got to remember that if you're throwing on div, to not throw your nades so you don't cancel out the div. I know this hunter build was kind of quick and easy, but I hope it helped you, and good luck in the day 1 race.